to go in. And all those little boys and girls that have those educations that aren't worth the paper that they spent the hundreds of thousands of dollars on, and that you're home with mommy and daddy, and you can't get a job. Put your brain together. You were special when you were little, and you became amazing when you grew up. Start doing something amazing. Start going out and do another homesteading act. As you pointed out, Alex, you could get these buildings for nothing. What you're paying for that new stupid car a month, you could be living in a building. Get your friends together. Put your brains together. You have the intelligence. Get the drive. Rejuvenate. Move into these communities. Bring them back up. Not gentrification on that end, but bringing it up to a cool area, a Renaissance area. Restore what we have. Don't build more.
And I appreciate your call, Rusty, but that's happening right now. I mean, places all around Austin where you've got all these doctors and engineers and professionals and regular folks and their own farms and communities and co-ops and raw milk. And it's just, you go into these towns. I wish I could live there, but I've got to, be here in Austin. But I go out and meet with these people, and I see them, and and it's just, there is a renaissance already happening. And I talk to these great minds, people who'd never even heard my show, and now they've heard it, who 10 years ago saw the same thing you've seen, the same thing I've seen, and they made, preemptive corrective measures. And so, but you're not going to hear that advertised by the mainstream corporate media. They want to keep you in the fraud.
Well, look who they are. I mean, look what happened with that guy Sanchez getting in an argument with Jon Stewart. It was like Mickey Mouse debating Donald Duck. And when you talk about the new Renaissance, the American Renaissance, rather, on 10-10-10, up here in Kingston, New York, across the whole front of our building, which is 45 feet long, we put up a sign 2 feet high, 45 feet long. The American Renaissance has begun. The people that see it are moving in that direction. The others that are waiting for the network losers and the politicians to lead them, they're going to go down. So there's plenty of opportunity out there. And those that see it are going to profit for a very long time to come.
Well, just like if they'd have listened to us 10 years ago, they'd have made 4 times their money on gold, and it's only going up. Okay, final question. You alluded, Gerald, to a huge global event. The RAND Corporation says they want a huge war. Stage terror, real terror. They're preemptively trying to stir it up over there. Just run through this gamut briefly of what are some of the events. And I know it's impossible to say, but we got the White House advisors saying we need a big terror attack so people will love and trust Obama. For the bankers to get their agenda, what type on your radar screen, your crystal ball, looking at the tea leaves in your gut, what does your gut tell you is some of the prime suspects for some type of Machiavellian, to use the earlier caller's term, crisis?
Iran is the biggest one. They've built up so much hatred between the American people and the Iranians that, I mean, that to us that's the big one. And of course, then there's the Israeli issue and a war with Lebanon, as we saw the Ahmadinejad going to the Lebanon-Israeli border. And there is no peace talks. It's a joke. They keep stealing land. I love the word they give to them. The Israelis that steal land are called settlers, like an old wagon train going out to the west over there. Settlers. How about thieves? Can anybody say that? So as they continue to steal more land, as provocations continue to increase in Israel, that whole area is really hot to explode. And of course, the Iranian issue, but the big one, Alex, is Pakistan. The United States, as you well know, with the Predator drones going in, they're creating hatreds at levels far beyond we've seen before, because the problem you have is you got about 300,000 Pakistanis living in the United States. And if they get their families wiped out, loved ones slaughtered, you think they're going to be angry? You think they're going to want to provoke revenge? So that's what we're concerned about.
Very well said. Trendsresearch.com. We appreciate you coming on with us for the last hour and a half or more. And Gerald, always informative to have you on with us, and thank you for supporting this 2010 Money Bomb to continue our operation and hopefully expand, because the times are so dire, but the opportunities are also so great. People are really ready to be awakened right now, and we couldn't do it without you. Gerald, I want to thank you and your crew.
Well, thank you, Alex. And I just want to mention that we, too, know how difficult it is for everyone, and that no matter what you can afford, go to the discount request page, let us know, and we'll make the Trends Journal available to all those that cannot afford it. We'll give you a price that you can't afford, and if you're in really dire straits, we'll give it to you for free.
But folks that do have the capital, it's funny, sometimes poor folks are the most giving, and then the middle class and people, they just, they won't get off the fence. People need to get the Trends Journal because it's invaluable information. Trendsresearch.com, and thank you for doing that, Gerald. We'll talk to you again soon. God bless you.
Thank you, Alex.
All right, thank you. Gerald Celente, amazing interview. We're going to finish up, because earlier in the week I played part of it. It's a 22-minute speech. I played about 7 minutes earlier. We're going to play the last 5-6 minutes of this Ron Paul speech from earlier in the week. We've been broadcasting now, 21, 22 hours live. Oh, we're in the 22nd hour right now. We're going to 27 hours total here. Infowarsmoneybomb.com. If you want to donate and be part of this historical event, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart who has. We couldn't do it without you. It's so beautiful what we've done. I really value the fact that we stood up and made a major stand and had such a big effect. And hopefully this is just the beginning, thanks to all your support, that buy the books, the videos, the T-shirts, who donate, who are PrisonPlanet.tv members. Infowarsmoneybomb.com, or link through, if you forget the URL, at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. Paul Watson's got some big bombshell reports up on Prison Planet dealing with bombs in the buildings. Now a CBS News report about bombs bringing down the towers that NIST had covered up. This is really scary stuff. I'm going to try to play that with Tarpley coming up. We'll get into the economy first. Continue with your phone calls. If you've got financial questions for Webster Griffin Tarpley or anything, any other major subject, 888-201-2244, 888-201-2244, and we'll be taking your calls with him as well, 888-201-2244. But again, Infowarsmoneybomb.com or 888-253-3139. Our great crew's back there taking your donations right now and your orders for videos. That's also a support. 888-253-3139. You can go up on the online video bookstore shopping cart, and there's Patriot Apparel to spread the word. The top videos, not just my films, but every other film and book I read that I think is really important. It's all available at Infowars.com on the online bookstore. Another way to support us. But again, the number to call and donate or to order is 888-253-3139. Please don't sit on the fence. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and we're about 500 miles towards reaching our goal of liberty and defeat of the globalists. Here's the rest of the Ron Paul speech to Webster Griffin Tarpley live from Maryland outside D.C., and then live video via video Skype, Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. And, of course, we had Lou Dobbs on and many others. It's been an amazing transmission. We couldn't do it without the crew as well. It's all of us working together. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We believe that we should have the protection of life and liberty and, of course, pursuit of happiness, or keep what we earn. But I think the most important of all that, liberty is important, obviously. But you cannot protect liberty if you don't protect all life. Once human life is identified, if you ignore that, you can't protect liberty. If we can do that, we will have a free and prosperous society. Freedom to me is so wonderful, and I have such confidence in how well it works if we can just protect that and guarantee that you have your God-given rights to your life and your liberty, where our freedoms come from, not from our government. If we allow that and understand freedom is tolerance. Think of the First Amendment. The federal government says, the Congress shall write no laws regarding the many things that they list there. Write no laws. That means that certainly the administration can't write laws. They're not supposed to be able to write regulations or executive orders or anything else. They're not allowed to under the Constitution. And certainly, if we're told that the Congress writes all laws and the executive branch is not allowed to either, why in the world have we allowed our judicial branch to write law? They shouldn't write law either. I would believe in freedom and free markets if it did not produce greater wealth. But we who believe in freedom, we don't even have to argue that, because history is on our side. History proves the freer the market, the sounder the money, the greater prosperity, and the more people that can enjoy it. So freedom is defendable from a very practical way. So this is something that we fail, I think, to project. But freedom also works in a social way. Freedom does bring people together. Freedom should not be divisive. If the First Amendment says that you can say things that are controversial, you should be able to tolerate other people who are controversial too, as long as they don't impose their will or their rules and their beliefs on you. I have every reason to be optimistic. As pessimistic as I am on the economy, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We're going to have a monetary crisis. There's going to be a challenge. So I hope this group, the Tea Party movement, and others continue to grow and have a significant intellectual influence on Washington, D.C., because things will get a lot worse. But freedom is alive and well, let me tell you. Not only do we see the movements like this, but I go constantly to the universities, and if you have a true intellectual revolution, the universities will express it. And believe me, on the campuses of this country, they care about freedom, they care about liberty, they care about our Constitution, and they are going to be the next generation. We will have no magic cure in November. We will significantly see some changes, hopefully, and that will be good. But the major challenge will be when we have a dollar financial crisis and the whole system is going to be challenged. But intellectually, the belief in liberty is growing by leaps and bounds, and you are reflecting that. So I come here with great gratitude for having been invited, but I go away with great excitement and belief and enjoyment that I know so many of you care. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're well into the 21st hour. Is it hour 22? 22nd hour of the live global transmission at Infowars.com, the free audio stream and video streams up there. We have had Lou Dobbs on. We have had David Icke on. We have had, let me just tell you who all we've had on. We're going to Webster Griffin Tarpley. Lou Dobbs, Alan Watt, David Icke, Lord Christopher Monckton, Paul Craig Roberts' video interview. He's coming up live in about 50 minutes. We've had Joel Skousen, World Affairs Brief, Dr. Stan Monteith, Jeffrey Smith, Richard Reeves, Luke Radowski, G. Edward Griffin. We've had Catherine Austin Fitz, Dr. Childress, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Max Keiser, Gerald Celente for an hour and 45 minutes, and now Webster Griffin Tarpley, then Dr. Paul Craig Roberts via video, live, Skype on the economy and so much more. Then we go into the main transmission again, where I started out 24 hours ago and continue for 3 more hours. We've got more surprise special guests coming up as well, and, of course, next week. We have Webster Griffin Tarpley as an author, historian, journalist, lecturer. He's a doctorate of history, a critic of the U.S. Foreign and domestic policy, best known for his book, George Bush, The Unauthorized Biography. This is an old bio. He's now known for all the seminal works on Obama that have really borne out to be dangerously accurate. I read these books, even though I respect Tarpley, like 2 years ago. And a year I was like, it's just all real. It's all true. This is so insane. Mr. Tarpley is a 9/11 truth scholar, who's documented the September 11th as a synthetic staged event. And we really appreciate him coming on. He's also a Genesis talk show host Saturday afternoons with World Crisis Radio.